Pretend I am in an elaborate studio with the best of production quality. I will speak clearly and from my heart. The rulership of Leo, the heart, the royal heart, the conquering lion of Leo season. Now, there is in the Christian Judaic scriptures that likens the coming of the Messiah, the Moshiach, and for the Christians, the return of Christ. This goes with the Passover. Where do we look for the Passover? They asked Jesus. Go into town, look for the man bearing the pitcher of water. That is the passing over into the water bearer aquarium from the Pisces fish. The opposite of Pisces and the fish is Virgo, known as the house of bread. The Virgo holds a sheaf of wheat in her hand. A bright star there named Spica is in that constellation's sheaf of wheat that she holds. The sun is in that location during the harvest time of the year, and so it's called the house of bread, which is Bet, which is home, and then Hem, bread, the house of bread, Virgo. Now, that is why we have the miracle of the 2 fish and the loaves of bread. I believe 6. The 6th sign of the zodiac is Virgo. Now we're passing from that axis point from Pisces into Aquarius in a retrograde motion, the grand year, which is 2,000 times, around 24,000 years, rather. Okay, so now we go into the opposite sign of Aquarius, the axis of Aquarius, Leo, the lion, who is at its throne in the middle of summer. The return of the conquering lion of Leo, not of Judah. They just attached their tribe onto that celestial event as originally, I believe, the Chaldeans in Babylonia, pagans, came up with this astrological system that we use, and then it was added onto by the Greeks using lots of Egyptian stuff as well. The Dendera zodiac goes back to the late dynasty in Egypt, which it has 12 signs. But for the sake of this video, we're talking about Leo, the Leo Aquarius axis. That shift from the Pisces Virgo axis, which is the axis of service. If you know a Virgo, they're often in the service industry. Behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord, is what the Virgin Mary, who takes on an amalgamation of different solar, lunar, planetary archetypes. The moon, the constellation Virgo, and the fixed star Sirius and Venus. And different goddesses, Demeter, Ceres, Persephone. Persephone would be Mary Magdalene, as opposed to the lady of the house of bread, Isis's dark twin sister of the inner sanctum, Sanctum Nephthys, who was called the Lady of the House, which has a connotation to being almost like a prostitute, but they held this prostitutes. A word for virgin is just someone not married. So they were priestesses, virgin priestesses, who were just into a married life. But there was some type of sanctity to it, and they would initiate candidates into the mysteries. If there could just be being some type of sound. Oh, it's a marriage. It's Virgo's mutable. Okay, so here's a good thing. Virgo's mutable, so is Pisces. We're going from mutable, like into chaos. So that's why I said before the age of Aquarius happens, which is fixed, and Leo fixed in the middle of the season. Mutable is at the end of the season. Pisces is at the end of the end. That's why that's the Kali Yuga, where chaos and whatnot reigns, and deception, suffering. The suffering Messiah, that idea is of the Piscean archetype. The suffering servant. That shit got used against us. But there is still a type of spiritual thing to learn about. There's a type of surrendering, but not losing, taking care of yourself. It often has to do with, it's called the axis of faith. Virgos get so anxious because they lack a little bit of faith in what opposite Pisces, the cosmic current, the spiritualness of us, and our connectedness to the all, which also takes the going through an abyss to realize. In Platonic, Neoplatonic, Kabbalistic, both Judaic and Christianity, and Hermetic, going back to Kemetic, to Kemet, to Egypt, and Persian mainly, ancient Assyrio-Babylonian, perhaps even back to Sumeria, and reaching over to the India and to Tibet in the east. The secret teaching of all ages are astrology, sacred astronomy, numerology, geometry, the meaning behind numbers of ultimately reality. That's what they give you these secrets as they initiate you up the mysteries, as they teach you a little bit more about reality. But here's something they do too. They totally lie to you, build you up on a fake foundation and a poor building, a building not built in truth. They bring you through the mysteries without telling you what they mean, or just give you a very literal of them version first. And then they break down that tower. Bring them down with the pillars of that first temple. And the World Trade Tower 7 are 7 chakras, the 7 rungs on Jacob's ladder, each related to 7 visible heavenly luminary that we passed into to come here, that we reflected out, divided into 7, the holy septenary, which are 7 days of the week, are modeled after. I'm bringing it back. But we're going into, so this is secret knowledge that was hidden from us. The age of deception, Pisces deception, spirituality, but then that can be used against us. So axis, polar opposites. It's got the same isolation, and then a total unification with the all. Pisces. It's a mystical freaking sign. It's the 12th sign of the zodiac, the 12th house of Israel, which was the tribe of the Levites, the tribe of Levi, and the Levites were the priests of Israel. I wonder why the priests ruled for the past 2,000 years. And now that goes to Aquarius. Aquarius is like the scientist more. That's how we already see science, the religion of scientism taking over. Dangers of Aquarius season that we don't want to go into are being totally soulless, computerized, having no heart. The opposite sign, Leo. No freaking spirit. No courageousness. No sense of dignity. Nor authenticity. Aquarius to Leo is an axis of authenticity. It's also, we're going into a fixed. The fixed signs are always hailed as the most important. I'm sorry. Scorpio, also known as the eagle, because it's in the air section of our zodiac. Hence, we have an American eagle. A lower nature of Scorpio is the serpent, where we see Scorpio as the eagle was fighting a snake. It's on many of our flags. It's also the mind controlling the lower nature, or it's the mind, the hierarchical freaking powers that be. Pluto rules Scorpio, the plutocracy. And this state trooper just pulled somebody over and opened up their door. All willy-nilly. Took up half of the freaking lane if you were to be on that side. Always move over for emergency vehicles. All that sign just came up in front of me. Look out for the signs. Well, here's the signs of the times. Scientism. Collective. Aquarius is about the masses. Up on the hill, the yearly cycle, up on the hill of Capricorn, your 10th house, your career, the top, the 10. We're about to go Capricorn, where Saturn rules. Who tempts Jesus on the mount. And then says, also on the top of the mount is where the Jesus character had his transformation, transfiguration. And the disciples there said, let us build a camp here. And he said, get behind me, Saturn, Satan, the ruler of Capricorn. I must go into town to do my mission. Aquarius is going into the town, into the masses. Now it could be a massive culling. We're just going along with the crowd and not taking in our uniqueness. Aquarius is large. Don't let it get used against us. It's community, but it's also ideally expressing our individuality. The sign of Leo, of which today is our first full day in, is a time of an encouragement of individuation, where that happens through self-expression and creativity, and hopefully from the heart in an authentic way that shines forth the splendor of fucking God. I don't like to use the word God. Etymologically, from what the general consensus at the end of the road, what it gets you to, is God comes from a goat prod. In the Hebrew scriptures, we have the goat prod is used to prod the sacrificial scapegoat atonement ritual of the Israelites off of a mountain or into the desert. Saturn is the lord of the desert, is the furthest one out. The outcast, the Capricorn goat. And then you do a sacrifice of the lamb, the ram in Aries season. Make sure in Virgo season they're not sacrificing virgins into a fucking duality. The occult or the dark side of it. It's how you use it. It's just like the internet. There's a dark fucking web to it. Does that mean that the internet's a bad thing? No. What it's done is give us an opportunity to get hip to this information, to secret metaphysical, allegorical meanings of these stories, so we're not taking them literally, so we're not getting culled into our faith, our spirituality being used to control us, enslave us. But we come from the axis of faith and even service into the axis of knowledge, gnosis, knowing half the battle. This sacred information about our metaphysiological makeup in relationship to our environment, including the freaking heavens above. Now we're moving into the axis of courage, authenticity, knowledge, your own royal fucking birthright, motherfucker. Let's go! Woo! I just got the ghost of Ra. Well, this shout out to this one person right now. Touch the screen. Healed. COVID-19, I'll blow on you. Dog. Kenneth Copeland got 2 private jets. Oh my God. Of God. I think the best idea to have of God is as us being co-creators with it. I mean, obviously his creation ain't perfect. You know, I think we're called to perfect it. Well, or at least to balance it, to bring harmony. Alright, y'all. I think I'm gonna check out. I missed my exit I was supposed to get. I'm too busy flapping my tongue. Tongue clapping. Oh my gosh, the Aquarian is going to be at an art show tonight for this girl, Allie B. Norman, Prince of Labyrinth Studios, showcasing artwork titled Labyrinth Alchemy. She's a practicing alchemist and a freaking magical artist. Does all type of astrological occult symbolism. The Great Apocalypse, the opening of the eyes, is upon us, my friends, because the knowledge has been revealed. The metaphysical meaning behind these stories, getting out of the literalist versions of them, is quite the time to be alive. But they don't want us to consciously awake, my friends. I know that's a great conspiracy. The sole possessors of this knowledge of awakening to the best, to fully individuating, unfolding your consciousness and being more aware, they don't want us to be awake. And are constantly rocking us to sleep or entertaining us with their bread and circuses. The etymology of circus goes to church, goes to circle, goes to circuit, goes to clerk, was it a clerk, a cleric of the church. Ceres, or Ceres of cereal, is the mother of the harvest. Because the church is the feminine part of God. That's what, because it's made of earth. People, it's likened to a ship, like a breeze. It is a corpse, a corporation, a corporal, a bodily. So you enter into a body. They have you entering into the body of Jesus. They said the body of Christ that gets killed, but then resurrected. There's a spiritual thing to that. There is. So I'm not I'm not anti-Christ, but I believe I can fly. I believe we need to learn the metaphysiological meanings of this Christification, of the chrism within us, the anointing, the Moshiach that we are, about the dying and resurrecting that we do within our own lives. Metamorphosis. Coming from the darkness to the light. But then what the dark Kabbalists do is they say, we have the light, we have the knowledge, we have the birthright. And, what the fuck? I'm in the wrong lane. I will not stay in my lane. The Aquarian function as a religion. Dude, I just never been in. There's a U-turn lane with its own U-turn light on it. I mean, we've often seen just the arrows, like a red arrow. But then next to the red arrow is a red U-turn arrow. Is that God telling me I need to make a U-turn on my path? The spirit of prophecy, our intuition. I do believe. I say believe. You don't have to believe in this to be part of the Aquarian. I believe in a type of spiritual realm that exists that we can't see, but we could feel, tap into. Perhaps our ancestors, the spiritual realm, the freaking fairies. I think that's where we get a chance to really have fun with this, and not fall into a worldview that's stripped away of at least the room for a soul and spirit, consciousness. I mean, can you deny our consciousness? It doesn't seem to be explained well by many scientists. Trust the science. That's like, trust the Bible, trust your priest. Now, I'm not anti-scientist, Aquarius, and the advancements in technology and how it's helping the human race, hopefully. And not using it to fucking call it, but to further express our inherent dignity as humans. That we might evolve consciously as well as technologically, and be very conscious of how we the relationship between the dignity of a human being and in relationship to technological advancements, in relationships to humans and robots melding. I say let's go. There's a belief called futurism. They go to some weird shit, which we need to keep an eye on. And as for science, they shouldn't be doing gain of function research in the fucking first place. That's why no one they had the mRNA idea, the technology, but it would never get funded because fucking implications, the safety of it. I'm giving myself an aneurysm. Let us come to a place of centeredness and stillness, where often that still voice in our heart calls out to us, and we meet it in the sacred chambers, in the sanctum sanctorum, temple within the temple. It is good that we are here. It is good that we are getting hip to this. Let us be conduits, channels, fountains of love, mercy, knowledge, compassion, strength, energy, inspiration. And so it is. Let us have a great weekend, Aquarian TV.